Welcome to another edition of Africa Good Morning. It's a Friday morning and we are so excited because yay, it's our favorite day.
It's finally Friday.
It's finally the weekend.
I mean, we made it.
Yeah.
It has been a crazy week for you.
Very crazy, very hectic, a workload too much.
Workload too much for me. I was a bit on the relaxed side because I was off sick. But it's good to be back. It's good to hear my voice again.
Yeah.
Now let's get into what you can expect in today's broadcast. Thousands of non-violent offenders due for early release from SA prison. A Kenyan senator arrested over scholarship scandal. And WHO holds a first traditional medicine summit. We'll also be crossing over to Zambia to speak to Mike Sichula as he updates us on all the news making headlines that side. Stick around, we'll be right back with our top stories.
In our top story, thousands of non-violent offenders due for early release from prison. Last week, President Cyril Ramaphosa announced a remission of non-violent offenders in South African prisons to alleviate the 43% overcrowding in the country's 342 correctional centers and 218 community centers. More than 24,000 prisoners are likely to be released, including 3,000 people who are to be deported. The announcement came as dozens of Zimbabwean prisoners in Pollsmoor prison in the Western Cape plan to embark on a hunger strike in apparent protest at living conditions, xenophobic attacks and denial of parole. Pollsmoor is South Africa's largest prison and one of the most overcrowded. Explaining the reasons for the decision, Ramaphosa said the recent fire at Katamasintule prison in Limpopo meant a loss of 3,024 beds and a 4% increase in overcrowding, rising prison occupancy to 147 of capacity.
Now, a Kenyan senator has been arrested over a scholarship scandal. Jackson Mandago and 3 officers face 11 charges, including theft and abuse of office. He is accused of involvement in a racket that allegedly conspired to steal a reported 1.1 billion Kenyan shillings, $7.6 million US, that was meant to fund further education for Kenyan students in Finland and Canada. Dozens of students who had paid to study abroad allegedly remained stranded in Kenya as a consequence, according to local media reports. Those who had already joined universities risked homelessness, expulsion and deportation after the county government stopped their payments for accommodation and tuition. The alleged crimes unfolded when Mandago was serving as the governor. Mandago has previously denied misappropriating the money. According to a report, he and the current Uasin Gishu county governor had agreed to ensure the victims receive funds. President William Ruto has also commented on the matter, ordering whoever is responsible for the scandal to repay the money for the Finland and Canada Overseas Education Program quickly or face trouble.
In our next story, WHO holds a first traditional medicine summit. We need to face a very important real-life fact that traditional medicines are very widely used. Nobel laureate and chair of WHO Science Council Harold Varmus told the summit via a video link. It is important to understand some ingredients are actually in traditional medicine. They work in some cases, and importantly, we need to understand and identify which traditional medicines don't work. The summit, set to become a regular event, follows the opening last year of a WHO Global Center for Traditional Medicine. Also in India's Gujarat state, while traditional medicines are widely used in some parts of the world, they also face fierce criticism. The UN Health Agency defines traditional medicine as knowledge, skill, and practices used over time to maintain health and prevent diagnosis and treat physical and mental illness.
Getting into our next story, in Chad, an outbreak of a dengue epidemic in the east. Chad's Ministry of Health told AFP on Wednesday that an epidemic of dengue fever had broken out in the east of the country at the beginning of August, a viral disease transmitted by a mosquito, the severe forms of which are rare but can be fatal. The Ministry of Public Health and Prevention informs the public of the outbreak of an epidemic of dengue fever in the health district of Abeshe, the capital of the Wadai region, around 650 kilometers east of N'Djamena, Chad's capital, said Abdelmajid Abderrahim Mahamat, the Minister of Health, in a statement sent to AFP on Wednesday. On 7 August, samples taken and analyzed confirmed the existence of the epidemic, but for the moment, we have not yet recorded any deaths, said the ministry contacted by AFP. Transmitted by the bite of an infected mosquito, dengue fever is a virus that is widespread in hot countries and occurs mainly in urban and semi-urban areas, causing between 100 and 400 million infections every year, according to the World Health Organization.
And in our final story, Nigerians call for mass recruitment of volunteers as the junta faces possible regional invasion. Nigerians are preparing for a war against regional countries threatening to invade 3 weeks after mutinous soldiers ousted the nation's democratically elected president. Residents of the capital, Niamey, calling for a mass recruitment of volunteers to assist the army in the face of a growing threat by West African regional bloc ECOWAS, which says it will use military force if the junta doesn't reinstate and depose President Mohamed Bazoum. ECOWAS has activated a standby force to restore order in Niger after the junta ignored a deadline to reinstate and release Bazoum. The initiative, spearheaded by a group of locals in Niamey, aims to recruit tens of thousands of volunteers from across the country to register for the Volunteers of Defense of Niger to fight, assist with medical care, and provide technical and engineering logistics, among other functions, in the case the junta need help.
That brings us to the end of our top stories. Now, authorities in Zambia are looking into a controversy involving business dealings with the precious metals and firearms on Tuesday this week at Kenneth Kaunda International Airport. We bring you this story and more news from Zambia after the break with Mike Sichula.
Welcome to Active Kids, a daily TV show that sparks creativity, learning, and fun for young minds. With exciting activities and lessons, Active Kids inspires curiosity and a love for learning.
New face to the 115.
The perfect mix of play and education. Don't miss out on the fun. Tune in to Active Kids on NTV every weekday at 10 o'clock and let the adventure begin.
Welcome back to Africa. Good morning. Our authorities in Zambia are looking into a controversy involving business dealings with precious metals and firearms on Tuesday this week at Kenneth Kaunda International Airport. Now, Master Mike Sichula has this story and more. Master Sichula, good morning. The stage is yours. All right, it seems that we cannot connect to Master Sichula. However, we were going to go through some of the stories. Like President Hakainde Hichilema is in Angola for the 43rd Ordinary Summit of the Southern African Development Community, Heads of State and Government. And in related development, Zambia former President Dr. Nevas Mboba is leading the SADC Electoral Observation Mission to Zimbabwe. And in sport, Copper Queen's first choice goalkeeper Hazel Nali will be out of action for the rest of the year after undergoing a knee replacement on Wednesday. Now we will take a short commercial break and then we'll look at the weather and then we can come back and try Master Sichula again. Stay with us.
Welcome to My.NA Cars, your ultimate destination for everything automotive.
I am your host, Diana Master.
Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Discover the latest models, innovative technologies, and expert insights from our passionate hosts. Learn essential maintenance tips and get exclusive behind-the-scenes access to the automotive industry. Don't miss My.NA Cars on NTV every Thursday at 2100 hours. Tune in and ignite your passion for automobiles.
Now, it seems we were having a bit of trouble connecting to Mr. Mike Sichula, but nevertheless, we move on. Speaking at the Namibia Gas and Oil Conference, which commenced in Windhoek on Wednesday, Mine and Energy Minister Tom Awendo emphasized that oil investments need to be well managed for them to yield a positive result for Namibia. He added that the country's oil and gas sector needs to be unskilled in order to reap its rewards. This video is by Esther Kamati.
And to maximize the socio-economic benefits to be derived from this sector, there is an urgent need for us to prioritize the development of our local capability, how to manage the sector. As you can understand, this is a new sector, and we certainly do not have all the necessary capability that is needed, and therefore it needs to be a priority. We need to invest time and resources to understand and upskill ourselves to be effective participants and managers of this sector. Without the prerequisite skills and capabilities, we will not reap the full potential economic benefits of our oil and gas resources. And ladies and gentlemen, in the development of these local capabilities, we urge also the international oil companies, again our investors, to be active participants in this effort. We will not achieve the requisite local capabilities without the effective and serious participation of the international oil companies. Not long ago, the Ministry of Mines and Energy organized a workshop to discuss issues related to local content policy in the oil sector. And here we define local content as the active participation of Namibian workforce and entrepreneurs in the upstream oil and gas sector through not only training, employment, and local procurement of goods and services. And local content will facilitate economic diversification. It will deepen backward and forward linkages from various segments of the oil and gas sector value chain, and thereby fast-tracking our industrialization effort. Our local content policy will bear fruit only when all the stakeholders, the investors and the entrepreneurs collaborate and pull together in the same direction.
In our economic news this morning, Ghana imposes 10% tax on lottery winnings. Ghana has imposed 10% tax on betting and lottery winnings effective from Tuesday. The Ghana Revenue Authority says the new withholding tax on all betting games and lottery wins will be deducted at the point of payout, according to GRA, in situations where a game is cancelled and the player's stake is returned for the value of the payout is less or equal to the amount staked. Withholding tax will not apply. Lottery operators have been directed to make changes to their software to display the amount staked, winnings and tax withheld during a payout for easy tracking by the Revenue Authority. GRA Commissioner Edward Yabra says the tax will boost domestic tax revenue mobilization as Ghana's total tax to GDP is very low compared to that of other sub-Saharan regions.
Getting into our next story, Bank of Ireland tech glitch allows customers to withdraw free money. Bank of Ireland apologized on Wednesday after fixing a technical issue that allowed customers to withdraw or transfer more money than was in their accounts. The glitch saw large queues form at some cash machines on Tuesday and into the night as word spread on social media, prompting police to be called in. The bank warned customers that withdrawals and transfers, including those over normal limits, would be debited from accounts, potentially tipping them into costly overdrafts. Announcing the fix, it added overnight payments to accounts may appear throughout the day. We sincerely apologize for the disruption this outage has caused. We know it fell far below the standards our customers expect from us, Brendan Burgess, founder of the website askaboutmoney.com, told broadcaster RTE the bank needed to improve its clunky IT systems. But he added, if you withdrew 1,000 euros, then queued up outside the ATM machine to withdraw that money, I don't think you deserve any leeway at all. Fraud is fraud. If you know you have no money and you take 1,000 euros out of a bank account and you know it's not there, that's fraud. Let's not say this is a problem with the Bank of Ireland systems. Now let's take a look at the economic indicators, also proudly brought to you by Bank Fintech, before we get into our sports news with Ari Hohad.
Good day everyone, time for international sports news, and starting off with tennis news first. It's a Cincinnati Open that continues. It is still a week one, and it's a significant week of tennis because it's leading up to the US Open, one of the four majors that will start on the 28th of August. That will be at Flushing Meadows in the United States in New York. Not a good day for many of the top 10 seeds in the men's division, and there was quite a few of them that lost. First one, Holger Rune. He's the number 6 seed. He had to withdraw in the second set against Michael McDonald, so a walkover for him in the round of 32. Then also Casper Ruud. He's the number 5 seed in the tournament. He lost to Max Purcell, and Max Purcell won 6-4, 3-6 and 6-4. And Max Purcell also earlier in the tournament in the first round beat Lloyd Harris of South Africa. Then Yannick Sinner, he won the past weekend Canadian Open, and he lost to Dusan Lajurev, and it was 6-4 and 7-6. So the number 4 seed, Yannick Sinner, also out of the tournament. Top seeds in the tournament, Carlos Alcaraz and also Novak Djokovic still in the tournament and probably favourites now to reach the final next week. In the women's side of the Cincinnati Open, it is Coco Gauff that continue a good form. She beat Maya Sharif 6-2 and 6-2. She's the 7th seed, that is Coco Gauff. And then it was Iga Swiatek, also an easy win for her. She beat Diane Collins of the United States by 6-1 and 6-love. Also, Reina Sabalenka, she's through to the next round. She's the 2nd seeded player in the women's section, and she beat Anne Lee of the United States by 7-5, 2-6 and 6-4. The finals will be played next weekend, and it is now waiting for the quarterfinals to happen. Moving on to cricket news, and it is a West Indian cricketer, that is Marlon Samuels. He's in trouble with the ICC. He already retired. He's 42 years old, but he was found guilty of breaching the anti-corruption code of the ICC, and that is related to when he played in 2019 at the Abu Dhabi T20 League. So he failed to disclose payments, apparently, according to the ICC, and he also didn't cooperate. So it is Marlon Samuels that won 2 World Cups with the West Indies, that is 50 over World Cups, and he played 71 tests for the West Indies, and it's yet to be decided what his punishment will be. And closing off today's international sports news, it is soccer news or football news. There's still many transfers happening in the English Premier League. That's despite week 1 that's already done. There's still a window open for clubs to buy new players. One club that's been battling to buy players for midfield position is Liverpool. It was quite recently that one of the players they thought that they acquired, and that was Moises Caicedo, he went to Chelsea, and now it is Liverpool that announced that they're looking for 2 midfielders to sign for them. It is firstly 23-year-old Crystal Palace midfielder. He plays for Mali. His name is Sheikh Duvour, and he apparently is in negotiations with Liverpool to go to Liverpool. And then also it is the player from Japan, the 30-year-old Wataru Endo. He plays for Stuttgart, and he's also apparently in the target of Liverpool to try and sign him for the troubled midfield position that Liverpool have at the moment. Also, Roger Desai was a goalkeeper for Manchester United. Apparently, he's keen to also sign for Bayern Munich. He left Manchester United last season. And then also, just to conclude on Liverpool, they're playing their next game this coming weekend against Bournemouth. And the first game that Liverpool played in the English Premier League, they drew 1-1 with Chelsea. That's international sports news for today. Hope you have a great sport day, and we talk international sport again tomorrow. Goodbye.
You're still with Africa Good Morning. If you're just joining us, here are the news highlights. Thousands of non-violent offenders due for early release from prison. Kenyan senator arrested over scholarship scandal. WHO holds first traditional medicine summit. In Chad, outbreak of dengue epidemic in the east. Ghana imposes 10% tax on lottery winnings.
Those have been our stories. We thank you very much for watching.